Our next panel is from FinOps, not FINOS, FinOps. That's a running joke within the Linux Foundation, that a sister foundation focused on cloud financial management. And I want to bring on stage Udam Dewaraja, Chairperson of the Focus Project and the FinOps Foundation, and Johnston, Cloud Cost and Engagement at Capital One. They're here to talk about Focus, the FinOps Cost and User Specification. Please, welcome on stage, folks.
No worries. Hey everyone, as Gab said, my name is Udam Dewaraja. I'm the chair for this Focus specification, work for the FinOps Foundation, and I'm excited to share the stage with Ann Johnston as well.
Good morning. I'm Ann Johnston, and I'm the Vice President for Cloud Cost and Engagement at Capital One. Our mission with this team is to maximize the value that we get from our cloud providers. And much of that is through FinOps. We provide insights, best practices in education, as well as optimization at a massive scale across all of our technology organizations.
Awesome. So we'd like to tell you a little bit about FinOps first, and then go into the Focus specification. So let's start with what is FinOps. FinOps, we like to say, is not about saving money, it's about making money. It is about getting the maximum value out of your cloud investments. It's about embracing the variable spend model of the public cloud and enabling engineering, finance, and business folks to make data-driven decisions based on near real-time cost and usage data, because there's a lot of trade-offs that need to be made. Operating in public cloud takes discipline and organizational alignment. It's very different from the traditional model. I'm sure many of you have already felt some of that already. With cloud, your organization is making millions of micro purchases every day. We like to say every engineer has the company's credit card. So how do you operate efficiently in public cloud? The FinOps Foundation has created an open source framework that heavily emphasizes an iterative approach to becoming efficient in public cloud. It stresses the need to drive the accountability for those spending decisions down to the edges of your organization where those purchases get made. And it also stresses frequent collaboration between all the different stakeholders. The culture change necessary is often overlooked. We see all different types of industries at the foundation. The ones that are excelling at public cloud, they've embraced FinOps. So that's why the core mission of the FinOps Foundation is to advance the practice and the people that do FinOps through community, education, and specifications. The foundation membership is 12,000 strong now. We have participation from 48 Fortune 50 companies. 180 financial services organizations are represented in the FinOps community. It is the largest sector represented. And in Capital One are well known in the financial services industry for being pioneers in cloud adoption and run one of the most advanced FinOps practices. So Ann, tell us a little bit about how FinOps is at Capital One.
Sure. So to bring this to life a little bit about how we do this at Capital One, I talk a little bit about how we relate back to the FinOps Foundation. So the FinOps Foundation has a domain model for all of the activities that happen with FinOps, both from a practitioner standpoint, with your finance partners, with your business partners. It all comes together in one domain. I'm going to focus on just a few portions of this. Don't have time to go through it all today. But these are the three that I thought were most important to go through this morning. So first, understanding cloud usage and cost. We really see this domain as foundational to everything else that you do with FinOps. You need to understand what you're spending money on. If you don't understand what you're spending money on, it is really hard to do any optimization. It's really hard to make sure that you're using the cloud in the most efficient way that you can. So we spent a considerable amount of time on this and just the visibility and transparency into how we're using the cloud and what we're spending money on. Cloud usage and optimization. My team has a mantra that I think we repeat every day or at least every week or so, and it's spending money on the cloud isn't bad. And we all know that the cloud is expensive, but that is money well spent. But wasting money is what is bad. So we've put together a metrics model to be able to work with our stakeholders to say, hey, you're doing really great in this area. This is money well spent, but this is an area where you need to look at where you could be wasting some money. And how this helps us with our stakeholders is that we are coming to them with a strategy. We're not coming to them with a problem. We're coming to them with a strategy that they can implement, and we all win in the end. And then also performance tracking and benchmarking. It's really important to know, how are you doing? How are you doing over time? Are you getting better? That helps you on your cloud maturity journey so that you know that you're doing things to advance your own technology. The other way that we use this is through some machine learning for anomaly detection. I'm going to give a little bit of a deep dive in how we do that. We use open source technologies to do that. So Capital One's predominant cloud provider is AWS. So we have an S3 bucket that has all of our billing data. We use Apache Spark to enrich that data and use the profit model to use anomalies. Now, when we were looking at models, there's a bunch out there for us to use. But we specifically went with this one because of the seasonality aspect to it. How many folks here are banks or credit cards? Just quick raise of hand. Okay, a lot. You know our Super Bowl is coming. Our Super Bowl is in about 24, 25 days. And we sustain that for a long period of time. That is a season. We sustain that through the holiday season, through the return season. It's not the spring, winter, fall, summer, although summer is my favorite season. But from a financial institution standpoint, our big season is the holiday season to make sure those transactions go through. So with the profit model, we're able to see anomalies that aren't just set based off of rules. We're able to see our history and our seasons and how we do within those seasons. We then put that into a data warehouse. We happen to use Snowflake and then run some rules against that for things that we just know to be true about our business. It's really important to us that we filter out some noise and alert on things that are truly an anomaly so we get the right level of attention. We also have a push and pull mechanism for how teams receive this information. So we use Slack for the push, and we also use a dashboarding system powered by Grafana so we can see those trends over time. And what this means and how open source helps us is really, one, taking some of the legwork out of my team, and then two, being able to provide the right insights to the right people without the noise. Now, we've done great work with that, but there's one problem that we are facing that is not unique to Capital One. In order to give the right level of insight, we have to consume an enormous amount of data. It's not just one cloud provider. It's not just one tool. It's not just 3 tools. It's not even just a dozen tools. There are dozens of billing information that we ingest in order to provide a true total cost of ownership and the right insights to create the right decisions that happen. And to do this, all of those tools have individual billing languages, if you will, different ways of saying the same thing, dozens of different ways. I would like my team to be focused on creating insights, but what we are having to do is actually focus our energy on data parsing and data ingestion. For me, the leverage within my organization is on the insights. And so when I found out that the FinOps Foundation was tackling this exact problem, we were all in helping to figure out the strategy and how we solve this across the industry.
And those data normalization problems are very familiar to me as well. At Citi, we were building a multi-cloud, multi-SaaS platform, and the hardest thing we had to do on the cost side was trying to normalize the data from all these different, I see my public cloud team over there. So yeah, that's really where Focus comes in. Focus is a common schema and lexicon for billing data, purpose-built for FinOps. It provides clarity, consistency, and simplicity. With Focus datasets, you could do common FinOps capabilities like chargeback, cost allocation, budgeting, and forecasting using a single standard set of instructions, regardless of who produced the data. The first version we're aiming to release on November 15th. It's focused on cloud and SaaS costs. But upcoming releases, we hope to tackle on-premise costs, software licensing, private cloud, and other types of costs. The great thing about Focus is it helps everyone. It helps cloud providers drive better trust in the billing data. If you all understand your cost and usage better, you're going to become more efficient over time. And if you're more efficient with using cloud and SaaS, your organizations are going to bring more workloads into the public cloud. That's why every major cloud provider has now signed on to work on Focus and are aiming to release support for Focus once we release the 1.0. Roughly 30 vendors in this FinOps tooling community have also signed on. But the most important group here are the practitioners, because we're working backwards from their day-to-day use cases to figure out what dimensions, metrics, and semantics need to be built into the specification. The open source community has come together as well. We're excited to contribute to the Common Cloud Controls project that Jim introduced here. Similarly, Focus has contributions from open costs and open meter projects. We're also building open source data converters for the four major cloud providers so that our practitioners can get value while we wait for the providers to natively support Focus. We hope the adoption of Focus and FinOps is in your plans for 2024. To find out more, please visit us on our website or contact us. There's many FinOps-related talks today. We hope to see you there and connect there. And we're also at a booth somewhere out here. So thank you.